Pass them out.
Devil is a liar. God is exalted. Amen. Well, all right. Let me tell you something. Whenever God is trying to bless, you know the devil gonna mess. And with what God has been teaching us the last 2 months in Bible study, it's all about Him setting us up for success, setting us up for the increase, so that we wouldn't throw our pearls to the swine. So for the last 2 months, He's been telling us how to handle our money. But if you ain't got no money now, why He telling you how to handle it? Money coming, right? And you don't want to mess it up when it comes, because then you got to go right around that same cycle again. Listen, I ain't trying to have to take the same test again. The same test. And see, the thing about this is, you don't know how long it's going to take for you to take the test. Kind of like if you go to DMV and you fail your driving license test, you can't come back the next day and take the test. You got to wait 3 days before you can take that test again. Okay? What if when you don't pass that test concerning your finances, God said you're going to have to wait 3 years before I try it again? It is a long time, but you don't understand what limits He put on it. You don't know. So your best bet is to pass it the first time. Now, I don't know about you, but if I was the test giver, and every time I gave you the test, you come in there and fail it with flying colors, I'm going to make you wait longer and longer before I get it to you again, because you're wasting my time. Yeah, I said failed it with flying colors. That means you ain't even tried to study from the last time. You ain't tried to improve yourself at all. I'm not going to waste my time to keep giving you that test. Every time I got to give it to you, I'm going to make you wait longer. Because I'm going to make you wait for wasting my time. Ain't y'all glad I'm not God? Yeah, all right. So now we are entering a phase of spiritual warfare. Spiritual warfare. Sadly, some of y'all right here and failing again. Before you can really get to, you think you at increase, but your increase really ain't even got here yet. You're right at the door. You're right there where He's ready to cross you over. And guess what? You're cycling again. You know what cycling again means, right? You failing at the same point. Every time God sets you up for abundance, you get right here. And then you start spiraling again. Sadly, some of y'all don't even freaking realize you're spiraling again. You're going to have to hit rock bottom before you realize, oh, I done failed that test again. You see, right before God's ready to elevate you, bless you, take you to abundance, the enemy comes right down the same road that he know he gets you every time. He gets you every time right there, every time. So what he can do is go to God and say, watch this. I know you think that she growing. I know you think he going to make it this time, but watch this. Because Jesus, if it ain't broke, I don't need to fix it. He don't need to try nothing else with you. Because right when God's ready to cross you over to the promised land, right when it's time to cross over to the promised land, you spiral in the same spot again. And I watch y'all like, are you sick? You don't see yourself cycling? You can't see? You can't see that you're ready to give up for no reason at all. You can't see that you slacked on your work for God for no reason at all. You sit there having a conversation with the devil, tell you, you need to put back, they don't do this, and they don't that. And you don't see that that's the same conversation you had with him the last time. This is the same conversation you and the devil had the last time God set you up. The last time God put you at the bank of the river to cross over to the promised land. This is the conversation, same conversation you and the devil had then. How you keep letting them trick you at the same spot? That's a real question. How you keep, because see, it's a couple of y'all in here, and right now, when I said this, your mirror popped up and you saw yourself. Yeah, you kept looking straight ahead like, hey, hoping nobody realized it, but I felt you. I felt it. I felt it poke you in your side. Why do you keep letting the devil stop you right before you cross over? You don't want to go to the promised land? You don't want nothing better. You want to keep going through the same old. Dog, it's quiet in here. Don't nobody want to talk now, do you? Don't nobody want to talk now. Because see, sometimes what we're calling warfare ain't warfare because you ain't fighting. We call it spiritual warfare. It is spiritual, but it ain't warfare because it can't be warfare until you fight. It's just spiritual butt whooping. You just bend over and say, let the devil whoop me. He ain't had to force you. He ain't had to connive. All he had to do was give you the same conversation he gave you the last time, and you entertain the same exact conversation. Help me understand. Because I try to teach just as plain as I possibly can in this house. How many of y'all can remember the same conversation now that you're thinking about it? This is the same spiral. This is the same conversation. This is the same thing that after he took me down the last time, I realized he took me down, and now I am sitting here listening to him again. Oh. It's real, but everybody ain't admitting it. I ain't gonna call you out because you're already getting your tail whooped. You're already getting your tail whooped. Let me ask you something. I wanted you to answer the last one when nobody answered me. I said it's a real question. When a person begins to pray for their spouse, right? You doing good and you growing in God, but your spouse is just cutting up, right? Just cutting up. And you begin to pray, God, open the eyes of my spouse, God, you know what I'm saying? Bring them in so that our house can be on one accord for you, God. God, I'm ready to grow, and I feel like the devil using my spouse to hold me back. He's using my spouse against me. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, your spouse stops giving you trouble. But now you spiraling. It's quiet in here, because I see it all the time, man. Y'all sitting there like, trying not to blink. Because you just did all that praying and crying out to God to fix your spouse. Now your spouse ain't giving you problems no more. Now you sitting there talking to the devil. See, when all the problems was your spouse, you ain't had time to talk to the devil because you was too busy praying to God to fix your spouse. So then, when God put your spouse and start getting your spouse in line, you got all this free time that you used to be praying. Now, instead of praying, you talking to the devil. Now you spiraling. So you let the devil play seesaw in your house. This 6 months he's using him. This 6 months he's using her. And your house is never moving into abundance. It's kind of like when somebody gets sick in the house, and instead of quarantining that sick person, y'all pass it around. We woke up. Kids got out of school. The first week the kids got out of school, we woke up. Joe here at the church that I think it was that Wednesday night. I get got right away. Yeah, he got me right there. Made fun of my son on the mic. Check, watch this. But he had a wrestling match. And he woke up that morning and he was like, Mom, can you call my coach? I can't go. He said, you think I can go? I said, you feeling any better? No, not really. So, no, you shouldn't go. But we got a match. We got a match today and tomorrow. Son, do you really think it's fair? I said, that's how COVID got so big. Do you think it's fair that you know that you have a sore throat, you're coughing, your head hurts, and you're going to go and do one-on-one contact with another kid? That kid not knowing what's going on with you, and then that kid going to wake up with all this, and then you're going to push that sickness into that kid's house. And whoever else he wrestles that day. That's not fair, Joe. Do you think God would be pleased with that? I throw God in a minute. Do you think God would be pleased with that son? So he can't make it. He couldn't make the first day or the second day wrestling. But my problem was, I said, Josiah's sick. I ain't. And I ain't got time to be. So how do I take care of a sick kid without allowing that kid to get me sick? Because in my house, the way it works is we once that cycle starts, if the rest of us get too close to the one that's sick, it cycles through all of us. Then by the time it came to Joe, got me, now I got Nye, now I got Kale. Now it's coming back around to Joe again. And we'll just keep passing it around. Do you realize that that's the way y'all act in y'all house with the devil and his issues? If somebody in the house who's been giving you hell, God finally works on their heart and lightens the load a little bit, because you ain't in God's face praying for that person all the time, now you got time to talk to the devil. Isn't that something? So the only way God can keep your attention is to let there be issues in your house. Because when there's not issues in your house, you have too much free time to talk to the devil. Y'all heard me? I am so serious. God loves us so much that he's willing to do whatever he needs to do in order for us to be blessed. Whatever he needs to do. And sadly, some of us will not be in his face. We will not get on our face and go before God unless we have an issue in the house. Now, when we have an issue in the house, we the woman of God, then we the mighty man of God, then we just crying out, God, I rebuke the devil in my house, and that demon got to go. But as soon as God makes the demon go, you stop praying because the demon gone. But now you and the devil talking. See, when you praying hard, you ain't got time to talk to the devil. I know when you ain't been praying because you start spiraling. You can't get to church no more. If you get here, you look like you've been eating lemons all day. Your face just toe up. You're looking sour as a. Yeah, you know. You're just nasty. You literally sit and wait for somebody to say something, because you and the devil done had these conversations about how the people at church talk to you and how they look at you and how they don't treat you like they treat everybody else. So I don't care what nobody else do. When you looking for something, you going to find what you looking for. So now you and the devil done made a pact before you got to church. Watch they look at you like this. Watch they don't say this, and watch they do that, and watch it. And you and the devil done made up your mind that that's what you're going to see when you get there. As a man thinketh, so is he. So when you get here, even if nobody do it, you saw it. Oh, I'm walking in here because it's in here. Here's the thing. I used to go to people and say, what's up? Why you spiraling? Let me tell y'all something. I'm over that. Listen. You've been here more than 5 years. You know when you spiraling. You ordained in this ministry. Listen, let me tell you something. We don't just ordain anybody. If you can't hold your own in this ministry, then you can't get ordained. Meaning when the devil come after you, you can put up that wall and you can fight for your freedom. If you can't do that, then you're not getting ordained. Okay? Every time we turn around, you and the devil done teamed up on us. You're not getting ordained. Okay? Now, sometimes you did what you had to do, and you done got on that. Now you done got lazy with it. Now you done got lazy with it. Well, the warfare is going to continue. The problem is you ain't fighting no more. That's the problem. Listen. For the rest of your life, you will have warfare. Warfare does not stop in your life because you give your life to Christ. It increases. You see, the devil don't have to mess with you when you already fallen. His only job is to get you to go to hell. That's it. That's his only job. That's his focus, to see how many dummies he can get with him to go to hell. I'm just trying to see how many of y'all I can bring with me. That's his only job. And if you know that's his only job, why you keep having conversations with him? He starts out telling you the truth, but then he persuades you that some things are true that aren't. Watch, they don't speak to you. Watch, Apostle don't even speak to you no more. Watch, Apostle. I hear you. No, I don't speak to you. Because listen, my job ain't to run behind grown folk who know the word of God, who know the will of God, and keep trying to pick you up and wipe your boo-boo. So my diggings and above in here, you can go on home, finish talking to the devil. You heard? Because you can only have one master. You will love one, and you will hate the other. It's just that simple. We done went through all that. You serve one, you hate the other. You and the devil keep on talking about me. Y'all know I'm in this house, right? And I'm talking to ordained leaders, right? I ain't coming to you. You know too much. You know too much. We can't continue to waste time and energy on people who already know what's right. When we have babes in Christ coming in and need to know what's right. That's where our time needs to go. You should never sit down with the devil and have a conversation about how your leaders ain't covering you. Because you already know that's a lie because you got ordained in here, so somebody covered you. Y'all better put up some type of fight pump. God can't use no weak people. And I ain't running behind no weak people. When I know it's your choice to be weak. So you know I'm in your house because you and the devil been talking about me. You and the devil been talking about me and how maybe my season at AFC is up. Listen. There is lead purpose type of conversation. Anybody been here at AFC know with the same stuff he tell everybody who lead? What you got? What did he say? Say it with your chest. They trying to hold me back. They working against me behind the scenes. Yeah, Isaiah. They call me a witch and say this church is a cult. What you got? The same thing? Okay, what you got? I'm ineffective the way I'm assigned to. Yeah. They got their picks. I ain't loved in that church no more. It's called Me and the Devil Been Talking. And I'm finally believing what he told everybody, every other dummy that left. That's a new one. The church is full of Amazon women. Yeah. That's what I am. Ain't no punk women over here. That hurt. Hit me like I'm a dude. Well, we fake Amazon. We ain't real Amazon. That hurt. I'm a woman for real. Shoot.
They preaching about my issue.
Oh my God, they preaching about my issue. Listen, if you go to a church and they preaching about your issue, that's when you ought to thank God. That means that's exactly where you belong, because nobody is going to grow when the church is preaching and ain't nothing affecting you. Ain't nothing telling you to change. Yes, ma'am? Psychology. They not teaching doctrine, they teaching psychology. Listen, the only reason I have to teach psychology in here is because y'all won't go get therapy. I done told you 50, 11 times to go get therapy. I done told you 50, 11 times you need medicine. And then you sit here and keep on talking with the devil with your crazy self. Y'all already two sheets in the wind. And then you're going to sit here and keep talking to the devil but won't go to counseling and won't take medicine? What do you expect? You set yourself up to go down. I'm struggling with depression. You ain't struggling with it. You lay down for it. Struggling with depression means I go to see my therapist, I get my medicine, and I take it. That's struggling with depression. I struggle with depression. I'm going to see my therapist every month, and I'm going to take my medicine every day, or I ain't going to be able to handle y'all. And y'all sure won't be able to handle me. That's called I have an issue. And so therefore, I take care of my issue because, one, I'm a parent. It's not fair to my kids when I won't take care of my issue. Now my kids got to deal with my depression because I'm too prideful or too selfish to go and handle my depression. You know you got depression issues, and your kid gonna now have depression issues, not because they were born with a chemical imbalance. They're gonna have depression issues because you taught them how to. You taught them how to spiral. You taught them how to feel lowly. You taught them how to lay in mess. You taught them how to not go before God and leave it there. I'm not talking what I heard, I'm talking what I know. I told y'all I worked with kids for a long time before I became a pastor. That was my job. And let me tell you something. At least 85% of my kids that were in my residential facility deemed not able to live outside of a secure facility. We had them locked. And the only reason those kids were locked in a residential facility is because their mama and daddies was crazy. Wasn't nothing wrong with them kids. They were taught how to be crazy. They were taught how to be depressed. So we had to dig that out of them and teach them what normality was. If they had a normal mama and daddy, those kids wouldn't have need no doggone Prozac, Zoloft, Serotonin, Wellbutrin. Oh, I'm calling out some of y'all's issues. It's sad. It is sad when you know that you have an issue and you refuse to take care of it, knowing you raising kids, and what you are raising is your issues in them because you won't take care of them. It's sad. And one day, my brother, my sister, one day you're going to stand before God and explain to your God, how is it you know him, but you let the devil use you against your own? Now, when your child becomes an adult, they're not really fighting their issue. They fighting the taught issue. They don't have a chemical imbalance. See, most people who are on depression meds nowadays, they don't have a chemical imbalance. They have situational depression. What's the situation, my mama? What's the situation, my daddy? So if they got away from their parents who won't take care of their issue, they wouldn't have that issue. I got a certified chemical imbalance. I got to take 60 milligrams of, what I'm on now? Deluxetine. Cymbalta is the real name. Deluxetine is the generic. And every time we go here, I tell y'all this. I'm your pastor. I'm the one who counsels you. I'm the one who tries to tell you to get on the right track, to get on kill, even out, so you can be all that God called you to be. I'm the one who tell y'all this, right? But I'm the only one taking my medicine. Figure that one out. Now, Deaconess Lisa just said, I take mine too. So since she said so, oh, Gillette said it too. So since she said something, how many years did it take you listening to me say this spiel before you finally got on some medicine? No. 2 years ago. And I've been pastoring almost 17 years, and you've been with me about 16 of those 17 years. So it took you 14 years of me saying this for you to get on it. Huh? So you was on the medicine but left the therapist? You didn't know you needed a therapist? Before they left? I know that, but it was only been one place all my life that just up and closed and didn't tell nobody. That was the same place you was going to that I was going to, but that was a couple years ago. I know they couldn't find her, but you could find somebody else. So that wasn't their fault. That was you. That was you, but you know you was raising 4 kids at the time who needed you to not be crazy. Mm-hmm. Needed you to not be crazy. Because when you are crazy in the house, you teach crazy. Behavior is taught. You know how many people I have to counsel only because their parents taught them how not to love, because their parents taught them how to be negative. Their parents taught them how to find fault, to see the worst in everything. That's a taught behavior. Sadly, some of y'all, I done tried to help you get out of that, but now you're doing it to your kids too. Talk about generational curses. Now, I understand that the enemy wants to implant generational curses in our lives. My question is, why do you want to implant one in your own family? I'll tell my kids in a minute, look, I'm struggling right now. Depression got me on the rope-a-dope right now. Because when I'm really spiraling, see, when I'm spiraling, I can't keep that to myself. Because I don't know what kind of power my kids might have. They've been in church as long as I've been here. If you tell people that you're spiraling, they may be able to pray for you. When I'm really on the ropes, and if I Minister Shelley, I tell them, Shelley, right now I can't take it. That's why I can't take that right now. I'm struggling. Mama's struggling right now. That means stop talking to me about whatever you're talking about. That need to wait. Because right now I'm in a warfare that's so strong that I need to tell my kid. Now, there's a difference between me. Mama depressed. Can you pray for me, Mama? I'm so depressed. No, that ain't what I do with my kids. I say, hey, I'm struggling right now. We need to call on. We got to go to prayer. We got to go to war up in here because the devil got me kicked right now. I don't talk down like, I'm just so depressed. Why would you depress your kids? You are supposed to be the life giver to your kids, not the life taker. Why Why would you talk so lowly in front of your kids and have them think, they begin to get raised up thinking it's okay to claim it? Just like we was a little while ago in the mic. Y'all know it just gets under my skin. It's like a person scratching a chalkboard when y'all say, my depression and my fear and my doubt. Y'all claiming that stuff. It ain't mine. This depression ain't mine. It belongs to the devil. He keep dropping it on my doorstep. And sometimes I'm strong enough to just kick that mess up out of here. But sometimes I go and kick it and my toe get hurt. And listen, you know when you hit your toe, it's some... I know I'm saved for real because I go into tongues. When I hurt myself, I go into tongues. I knew I was saved for real then because I used to not go into tongues. Now, it was some tongues, but wasn't nothing holy about them things. You know, that was the last thing the Lord had to deliver me from, that cussing, because my mouth. 12 years in the army, my mouth. But some days I'm up and I'm so strong, I can go and kick it off my porch. Get that mess up out of here. I can kick it so hard it can't even be in my yard. But then some days I get up and I try to kick it, and it's like a iron block. That means I can't kick it by myself. That means now I need to pull on those around me. That's why you got to fellowship with people who are believers and who are strong, so that when I'm weak, you can be strong. And when you're weak, I'm going to be strong. Yes, ma'am.
All right. So a couple weeks ago, I had a situation where I woke up, and all of a sudden I felt suicidal. Depression hit me, and so I was like the whole day trying to figure out where this feeling come from. And so then I called Apostle, and I was like, I'm feeling like I'm suicidal. I'm feeling like I'm in depression. I was like, but there's absolutely nothing going on. And she began to explain to me, she's like, your body, because you're so used to in this season dropping like that the enemy came and you didn't respond to it like you used to.
Yes. Because your body is, listen. When somebody mama died in June, they begin to teach their body to get depressed every June. You understand? You teach your body that this time of year, I'm supposed to be falling. That's why we deal with so many mental issues around the holiday time, because holiday is a time that you're supposed to spend with family. Okay, well, all of us are going to lose family. Listen, dying is a part of life. So what the enemy does is, when you've lost your mama, your grandmama, your granddaddy, your brother, your sister, what he does is he makes you think about everybody that you lost and you can no longer spend the holidays with. And so what he does is he makes you so depressed around the holiday season that guess what? You can't have good relationship with the family you still got because you're too depressed about who gone. Oh, y'all better catch that. Y'all better catch that. He gets you to focus on who's not there instead of who is there. You have no control over who's not there. Death is a part of life. But you have control over who is there. And whether you're going to allow this time to be a good time of fun, family, and love, or y'all going to all sit around talking about, I wish grandmama was here. My daddy gone. Listen, everybody's daddy going to be gone after a while. And you're going to be somebody's daddy that's gone, or mama that's gone after a while. We all got to die. But you don't put your concentration on the ones that's gone. You put your concentration on the ones that's left with you. If everybody thinking about the ones that's gone, that means all y'all here and ain't got no love between y'all. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. See, the reason why you can put your focus on the ones that's gone is because once they're gone, you remember things differently from the way they really were. When they was alive, you talked about them and said how evil they was. But somehow the devil makes you change and alter the memory of them when they're gone. And now when they're gone, he makes you think about how nice they was. Okay. Because see, sometimes it's hard to grieve when somebody's still alive. Okay. So when you had that relationship with dude or girl, you know what I'm saying, y'all broke up because you just weren't compatible. That you just got tired of them being negative, and you just realized that they was draining you, and every time they come around, they was negative. And so you said, I can't deal with this no more. But then y'all broke up, right? And about 4 months later, and your DM been dry. All of a sudden, you start remembering all the good parts. Well, it really won't that bad. When you get lonely enough, you say, it really won't that bad. He only punched me in my eye one time. He left the other one open. Huh? Yeah. Because what the devil will do is he will make you remember something better than it actually was. That's the only way he can make you sit there and reminisce and gloat over a relationship that wasn't good for you is to rewrite it in your memory. Boy, listen. This ain't none of this part of my lesson, so I'm just listening to the Lord. So it's in here somewhere. But he gets you to rewrite your history in your mind. That's why the Bible always say, write it down, make it plain. Let me tell you something. When you break up with somebody, write down why y'all broke up. Because, see, when you get lonely enough, you're going to rewrite why y'all broke up. Okay. You got to write down why you broke up, because if it's just here, your mind will change the story to make it fit the direction you want to go. So if you want to go back to the person, your mind's going to rewrite the story that I won't really seeing it the way it actually was. And I was just being nitpicky, and I was just. And so what you do is you go back and rewrite it and make everything your fault. Why you got to do that? Because if I look at it for what it really was, it says that I'm dumb enough to go back in the same mess when it ain't changed. Yeah. The only way you can go back to an ex is to rewrite the history in your mind. But if you actually did an autopsy of the relationship, See, if you don't know why your forefathers died, then you don't know what to look out for. But you want an autopsy so you know what runs in the family. Do an autopsy of the relationship, everything that went wrong, so that when your DMs is dry and they start looking good again, you can go back and read why it's really bad underneath. You can't lie to yourself to make it right. You can lie to yourself good enough to go back to a bad relationship. You know that, right? And when I say relationship, please understand, I'm not just talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about your friends. Your friends that was jealous of you, your friends who always used and manipulated you, but now you ain't got no friends, so you will go back and you will rewrite the history of you and that friend so you can be friends with them again. And they ain't gonna do nothing but use you like they did the last time. But you're so lonely, you'd rather be used than to be alone. Yes, ma'am.
So is that the same thing, like, you know how you're mad at someone over something and you forget why you're mad? Is that like the enemy being like, they're going to make you forget why you're mad so that you can go back to?
Yep, that's what he does. He make it so you say, that really wasn't a big deal. I made a big deal out of nothing. Like I said, he ain't put both my eyes out. I could still see. Now, if he had a black both arm, then I wouldn't have been able to see. That means he ain't had no love for me, but at least he loved half of me. I could still go to work. It could have been worse. It could have been worse. Y'all laughing, but you know people had those conversations in their head, right? Because I'd rather be abused than be alone. All right, I think I'm done. I think. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get us to just the first one tonight so that we can finish next week. All that was just straight off the press from the Lord. Take what you need, apply it to your life. You know what I'm saying? And now we are going over here to what are the 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins are the ones that cause all other sin. There are 7 deadly sins that are the root to every other sin in your life. And the 7 deadly sins, do they align with the 7 princes of hell? I told you I would come back around to this when I was teaching the other subject on Mammon. 7 princesses of hell. There are 7 princesses of hell. What I am going to do is align those two together. Your 7 deadly sins alongside the 7 princes of hell to show you how they use and manipulate you to eventually still kill and destroy. Amen? Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's go to work. The more you feed your sin, the greater the beast becomes until finally it eats you alive. Deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins, more properly called the 7 capital sins, are the sins to which we are most susceptible because of our fallen human nature. These are the things that just come natural for us just because we're human. They are the tendencies that cause us to commit all other sins. They are called deadly because if we engage in them willingly, somebody say willingly, they deprive us of sanctifying grace and the life God planned for us. The 7 deadly sins will steal the life that God has ordained for your life. And they come so natural. There are some sins that feel unnatural, but what the 7 deadly sins do, they come so naturally as a gateway to all the other sin in your life. There are 7 princes of hell. The 7 princes of hell are the highest and most powerful of all demons, regardless of their origins. They represent each of the 7 deadly sins. I can't remember what lesson I was teaching you guys, but I was teaching you about how there are, it was probably on spiritual warfare, that there are prince demons assigned to different regions. And you will see the dominating issue in that region will be like if you have the prince of lust, then the dominating issues in that region will have something to do with lust. Premature pregnancies, you know what I'm saying? Marriages never staying together. Whatever demon is the prince of that region. Now, other sins will be in that region, but the principal sin will be from that demon. Y'all with me? Okay, it's going to get plain, I promise. The leader of the princes is Lucifer. Lucifer. He is the supreme ruler of hell, whose authority is beyond that of any other demons, with his most loyal follower, Beelzebub, right by his side. Beelzebub, that's Lucifer's boy. They ace boom coons, A1 day ones. He need anybody he gonna call his bro, Beelzebub. Remember in the Word of God where they accused Jesus of casting out demons by the power of Beelzebub? And Jesus said, how can a demon cast itself out by itself? Demons are Beelzebubs. How am I using Beelzebub to cast out Beelzebub? Yeah. They are the rivals of the 7 archangels, which were created the same time as them. The 7 princes of hell and the 7 archangels. God created all 14 at the same time. Something to make you say, Who are they and what do they represent? Let's check out some facts about the 7 princes of hell. The 7 princes are the leaders of the demons that reside in the underworld known as hell. Dark and dangerous beings of immense power and presence. A wave of their hands and a whole swath of land will be reduced to inhospitable wastelands. A simple command and an army would charge out to crush their foes, more afraid of failing their leader than the pointed spears of their enemy. SWAT team, y'all get that one? Y'all get that one? They are more afraid of failing their leader than they are about the words that we're speaking over them. Stubborn demons. That's why I say your daddy gonna be mad at you. I mean, he gonna be mad anytime you fall. He gonna be mad. But when you make a fool out of him, oh, you in trouble, trouble, trouble. They are monsters, both in body and heart. They are certainly ruthless and cruel. We're talking about the princes of hell. Now, I tried not to, I know we got kids here and stuff, so I tried to ride the fine line between, with the pictures, letting you know, business about the fire and brimstone, it really, but I don't want people having nightmares because, your spirit ain't ready up for the fight, and now you get dreaming about, So I hope y'all, you ain't got to worry about, okay, all right. For years, hell has been organized by Lucifer into the ruling body called the 7 princes, in which the leading 7 would rule over different vast areas of their lands. Each prince was responsible for their own subjects and lands. Many enjoyed how organized the system was, though a select few hated being forced at the bottom for others to be on top. So demons understand hierarchy. They understand order. They understand rule. And they appreciate the order that they have in hell. They just got issues with the fact that I'm on the bottom of the totem pole. But they honor and respect order. They don't play with the devil when it comes to order. Jesus. They are ruthless and cruel to everybody except Satan. Are you ruthless and cruel to God? You see, they honor one. They honor one. Do we honor any? What are the 7 deadly sins? Feeding your harmless little sins will eventually consume you. I know you think it's small, it's minor, but eventually that thing gonna get big enough to eat you. Keep feeding it. I'm sure y'all heard the story about the python that slept with his owner every night. And usually they curl up to go to sleep. But this python would lay straight beside the owner. And when the owner took him to the pet shop to get him checked, he said, I was just wondering why he would lay straight like that. The veterinarian said, he's sizing you up. He realizes when he gets longer than you, he can take you. You feeding him. You taking care of him. And he just waiting for the opportunity to eat you. Oh, that's the devil. The 7 deadly sins are pride, covetousness or greed, lust, anger, gluttony, envy, and sloth. Those are the 7 deadly sins. The 7 deadly sins are much more than just deadly vices. Each one has a demon. So, who are these demons? You want to know? Let me get out. According to Peter Bensfield, who was a German bishop and religious scholar, the 7 princes of hell are classified as personifications of the 7 deadly sins. The 7 princes of hell are as follows. Lucifer, he's over pride. Mammon is over greed. Leviathan is over envy. Amadeus is over lust. Beelzebub is over gluttony. Check this one. Sathanus, Satan, is over wrath. Belfarge is over sloth. Now you have the 7 princes of hell, along with their job, the 7 deadly sins. It's not necessarily one that is mentioned explicitly in the scripture. I want you to realize that. But it is an interesting idea that many scholars have attempted to explain in the last 600 years. I dealt with the topic and how I was going to mention and run this because you don't see the 7 princes of hell in the Bible. And many of y'all don't know, you don't see the 7 sins in the Bible. They're listed at different times, but there's not a section that says these are. Okay? So then, you know, church folks, they start scrutinizing, But whatever. Y'all see how that works? I'm going to teach it the way I need to teach it to the people that God has given me rule over, so you ain't going to have no excuses for getting your tail whooped by these princes. Yes, sir. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. I was seeing if y'all would catch that Lucifer at the top and then say, yeah, we're going to get there. Yeah, we're going to get there. Their powers and abilities. Look at that pyramid. You see, the tempters are the least of the demons. Their only job is to come in and tempt you to sin. They're at the bottom of the pole. Okay. The princes of hell are high-level demons that possess powers over all demons in hell, totally transcending every lesser demon to the point where they are able to destroy legions of lower-level demons with the snap of a finger. Therefore, when we are in spiritual warfare here and we say, I call out the spirit of unforgiveness, it is not the prince that's there. It's one of its minions. You get me? Thank God we don't deal with the princes. Okay. Remember in the book of Daniel when the angel said, he heard you when you prayed the first time. And I was on my way to come and answer your prayer. But the prince, remember, the 7 prince of hell are against the 7 archangels. So you got to fight on your level. You can't fight a heavyweight when you ain't nothing but a featherweight. And you can't fight a featherweight when you can't even throw a punch. You can be a heavyweight, but you don't know how to punch. So a featherweight will whoop your head. Okay. All right. Many demons and even angels, like the cherubim, fear coming into the prince's field of vision. As some of them who have fallen were seraphims, level demons, and even true archangels like the morning star. Who is the morning star? Who is the morning star? Lucifer. He's the morning star. Bright in the morning star. Church put it in their songs too. Bright in the morning. We thought we were singing Jesus. We were singing about the devil. The bright in the morning star. Amen. 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 Yes. There you go. Sometimes we as the church folk could be so ignorant. They say that even for a human to summon a prince from hell is a super risky thing to do. Because the more powerful the demon, the greater the offering has to be to force a manifestation in the human realm. When a human is summoning these princes, you got to give up something costly. It's satanic worship. They give up something costly. Yes, sir.
Why are the cherubims and seraphims afraid of demons? To come in a vision. I'm sorry.
Okay, now check this. What they're talking about here is the ones that are fallen. Okay. The cherubim and the seraphim, some of them fell from heaven. So they're in hell, but they stay out of the prince's way. No, they ain't got no power up there. No. What it's trying to show you is just because you're a demon in hell don't mean you safe. Just because you're a demon in hell, they don't say we're on the same team. I kill you too. They're ruthless, remember? They just mean. They'll take out a legion with a snap of a finger. That's why them demons be scared to go back. Boy, they scared. I know your horn go back, bro, but you can't stay here. That's why Legion said, please don't kill me. Let me go into the pigs. The Legion ran into the pigs. And the pigs went so crazy from the demons coming into them that they said, I'd rather die than to live with that spirit in me. It would be nice if we would be like that, right? You'd rather die than to live with them spirits in you. Good thing is this, you ain't got to jump and drown yourself. All you got to do is die to your flesh. That's it. You ain't got to physically die. All you got to do is die to your flesh. The only time that those spirits are going to keep on manipulating you and using you is when your flesh is leading. Yes?
Hello? Okay. So when we was doing the bright and morning star, and Lucifer was an angel when his name was Lucifer, is that why we were saying bright and morning star before he fell and then was turned to Satan? Because it makes us seem like
Baby,
we don't know what we're
we
doing.
weren't around before he was thrown down.
Okay.
Before humans came around, he was already cast down. We sang it out of ignorance. We sang it. I sang it because my mom and them sang it. I didn't know I had to go and check and make sure the songs were doctrine. You understand? I'm sure that if we go through all of our AFC praise team songs, I'm sure there's some other stuff that's going to be in there that ain't right. Yes?
If the devil's the first one, how do you make the other ones?
He didn't make them. They got kicked out with him. I said all of them were made at the same time. God made them all. And they all got, well, he made them all, and 7 of them got kicked out. Same time, made same time, kicked out same time. Now the first 2 to wake up. Because when they got kicked out, when they got kicked down there, they got knocked out. Okay, they got knocked out, right? The first two to wake up was Mammon and Lucifer. Lucifer led the revolt, so he automatically took charge to lead hell. But does he actually have more power than the others? But he got them here. He don't have more powers than the other ones, but he ruling them because he got this. Once he gets your mind, he can rule you and ain't got no power over you. But let me keep on. I'm getting ahead of myself. In some cases, they say that the manifestation of the powerful prince like Amadeus is capable of causing a blackout across the North American continent. Regarding the offering, to invoke someone like Beelzebub may require sacrifice from several people. That's why they cut themselves. It's a sacrifice. They cut themselves and they drop the blood. Y'all know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? Listen. Jesus don't even make us cut ourselves. But we still won't worship. Anyway, although in some cases it's not such a sacrifice by the devil's own choice. Some things the devil say, you ain't got to give me nothing. I'll do this for free. It's like a crackhead. Give you a couple hits for free and then you stuck. Yeah. The devil want to get at somebody so bad that he said, you ain't even got to sacrifice. I got this one. Okay. Where did they come from? Where did these demons come from? These demons were fallen angels that rebelled alongside Lucifer, the angel that defied God, which caused the war in heaven. Which, is really not a war, you know what I'm saying, because all he had to do was, and they were gone, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, after their fall from grace, each of the beings were twisted, check that, they were twisted and transformed into hideous abominations. You see, the way they look now is not how they looked when they was in heaven in the will of God. But when they left the will of God, now they're hideous creatures. Boy, you better find you. Y'all ever seen people in church when they do right, they look so peaceful and their skin, the complexion be so clear and they be glowing and they just doing the will of God. But as soon as they start having that one-on-one conversation with the devil, their whole appearance changes. You see, it don't take a prophet to realize that you're no longer on your face, but in the devil's face. It don't take a prophet. All I got to do is look at your skin. Because when you're with God, he says he beautifies the flesh. When you're with God, he has to make you look better because you represent him. He said, I'm doing it not because you're so cute. I'm doing it because you represent me now. I know y'all can tell the difference when your friends are in church and then they right, and then when they in the streets ain't going to church no more, you see the whole complexion. Okay. All right, let me stop telling folk business. After the war of heaven, the imprisoned fallen angels decided they needed to form a ruling government in their new plane of existence. Some vied for power, but undoubtedly, the ruler of hell at the time was the leader of the fallen angels, the charismatic morning star, Lucifer. Courageous and strong, he made others bow before him through persuasion, bribery, or intimidation. Notice, it doesn't say that he made them bow to him through force. You see, the devil don't even make you bow to him through force. He can't. He ain't got no hands. He ain't got no legs. He can't step to you. He can talk to you. So he did the fallen angels the same way he do us. He got them to bow down before him through persuading them, bribing them, and intimidating them. But he didn't fight him because he can't beat him. All he had to get was the mind. That's all he wanted to get with you. Because wherever the head go, the body follows. If I can just get your mind, the rest of it coming. Over time, they grew strong and held dominion over all of hell, with Lucifer as the supreme emperor of hell, with Beelzebub and as his second in command. Eventually, the seven began retaliation against God. They got back at God. How do they get back at God? By tempting humanity to sin. So every time we allow them to tempt us to sin, it's a smack in God's face. As such, each of the seven princes became the physical representations of the seven deadly sins. The seven deadly sins lead to all other sin. Y'all understand? First one. First deadly sin is pride. Who represents pride? Lucifer. Pride is a sense of one's self-worth that is out of proportion to reality. Pride is normally counted as the first of the deadly sins because it can and often does lead to the commission of other sins in order to feed one's pride. You can't struggle with the spirit of pride and not commit other sins to feed your pride. What? Yeah. That's why pride is the deadliest. Because when you are dealing with pride, you must commit other sins in order to feed pride. Okay, all right. Y'all just like, y'all in shock, y'all all right, y'all mad, what's wrong? Taken to the extreme, pride even results in rebellion against God through the belief that one owes all that he has accomplished to his own efforts and not at all to God's grace. So you begin to feel, look what I've done in my life. Look what I did with myself. I finished school. I put myself, I put my own bootstraps. Lucifer's fall from heaven was the result of his pride. Adam and Eve committed their sin in the Garden of Eden after Lucifer appealed to their pride. Surely you won't die. He just don't want you to eat that fruit because you'll be gods like him. They said we could be gods. Their head got big. We could be gods. Their pride is what caused them to sin. Not realizing that they were already gods. There was no death. There was no sickness. There was no hell. None of that was for them. Do you know the original Adam and Eve were never going to die? They were already gods. But he appealed to their pride. He holding back from y'all. Yeah, he was holding back death and disease. Yeah. What do we know about pride? Pride is concerned with who is right. Humility is concerned with what is right. Which do you have? Pride is an excessive view of oneself without regard for others. Ain't think about nobody but you. The Bible says the following in Jeremiah 9, verses 23 and 24. Let not the mighty man boast of his might, but let him who boasts boast of this, that he understands and knows me. You got anything that you proud of, be proud that you know me. All right. Pride is also mentioned in the following verses. Won't go through them tonight because of time, but I just wanted to give you the information. Proverbs 8 and 13, Proverbs 16 and 18, Romans 12 and 16, 1 Corinthians 13:4, Galatians 6:3, and James 4, verses 6 and 7. As you read these this week, if one of them sticks out to you, be ready to share that one and what you got out of it on next Wednesday. Humility cures pride by removing one's ego and boastfulness, therefore allowing the attitude of service. Listen, you have to actively pursue to defeat pride every day of your life. Pride is slick. Pride is sly. Pride will slide in when you think you've been delivered. If you think you got pride under control and that's not your issue, you're being prideful. The first sign that you're prideful is saying, I don't deal with pride. Remember, pride sometimes will hide as humility. No, I don't want to go up there, you know what I'm saying, let somebody else do it. No, the problem is you too prideful to mess up. You too prideful. You think if I mess up, then everybody going to see me mess up. So it's not that you are humble and want somebody else to go. No, you prideful because you scared that you're going to mess up. False humility. One more slide and then we'll be finished for tonight. Pride, the symbolism and the meaning. Oops, wrong way. The sin of pride is associated with big egos and high opinions of oneself. People who exhibit an unhealthy amount of pride are often unable to exhibit self-awareness. They can see everybody else's stuff, but can't see theirs. They can come to the altar and put their spouse on the altar, and put their kids on the altar, and they put their parents on the altar, and their boyfriend, girlfriend on the altar, but they can't ever put themselves on the altar and say, I'm just jacked up. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. It's me, oh Lord, standing in the need of prayer. Not my father, not my, y'all too young, okay. Symbols associated with pride include the horse, the lion, and the peacock. Moreover, the sin is represented by the color purple. Historically, the hue of royalty. Remember, in the biblical days, Christians didn't ride horses. They rode donkeys. It took longer and more uncomfortable. But horses were prideful. Horses were for the armies and the distinguished and sitting high, looking low. The lion is only the devil's job to imitate who and what God is. So what? We have the Lion of Judah. So he does the Lion of Pride. It's me, oh Lord. Purple, the color of royalty. So he says, I am royal. Oh, peacock. Yeah, the peacock. Y'all know what the peacock do, right? And they'll spread their tail out. You see that? You see that? You see that? You see it, right? Head always up in the air. And don't deal with nobody. Now, I went into a bird cage last year up in Ohio, I think it was. In the bird cage, there were all different kinds of birds. And we had food to feed them. And I got the pictures where I had the food in my hand. I put some of the food on my shoulder. They came, they sat on my shoulder, and they ate the food. They sat in my hand, ate the food, all on my arm. I would have like 5, 6 birds on me at one time, right? However, the peacocks, they didn't care what you hated. They weren't coming to you. And if you got too close to them, what was the sound they would do? It was like somebody was talking to somebody. The first time I thought somebody was hollering, I looked. But they letting you know You too close to me. Back up. You go try to show him some love. Get back. And when they're mating, they don't spread their feathers for us. It's to show off for the attraction of the mate. But most of the time you see their tails are just, and they might spread it a little bit down, but the only time it comes up where you can see the true beauty of it is mating season. That peacock. I'm gonna finish this slide. One of the most well-known biblical stories of pride centers the angel Lucifer, who supposedly was overly concerned with his own beauty. That's where it started. It didn't start trying to usurp God. It started with him being consumed with his own beauty. I am fine. Boy, can't nobody strut like me. My halo is better than yours. That ain't no song. I just made it up. That's a prideful song. My halo is better than yours. According to some interpretations, his pride eventually corrupted him, turning him into Satan. His original name was Lucifer. He didn't turn into Satan until he got kicked out. Just like when Jesus met Peter, Simon, the devil desires to sift you as wheat, but I have prayed for you that your faith faileth not. Once Peter got himself together, Jesus changed his name from Simon to Peter. Because there is a name change during the transition. There's a name change when you go from one level to another. There's a switch. Even still to this day, the Jewish when they have a bar mitzvah and stuff like that, they change the kids. Y'all know what I'm talking about? Yeah. They give them some biblical, right? But Jesus didn't change their name until they had changed. I got a question for you. If Jesus was here right now, would your name be changed? I told Jesus it would be all right if he write my name. Oh. Any questions concerning tonight's lesson? Purple is a color. He stole the color purple for royalty, as I'm royalty as well. Okay? So next week we will start with greed, covetousness, the spirit of mammon, which y'all should already know, so that one should go really, really fast, right? The spirit of mammon. Any questions concerning tonight's lesson? Anybody ready to learn about the 7-7? All right. Remember to read those scriptures that I gave you earlier. If something sticks out to you, be ready to share it with us on next Wednesday. At this time, we will have our AFC announcements. If you have an offering, they'll collect an offering in the back. Whatever God laid on your heart to give, you can go to the back and give your offering.
AFC announcements. Outreach is having a coat drive. Please see Deaconess Brittany or Brother Abel for more details. AFC CDC tutoring program has open enrollment for students, including college. They are in need. Please register online on the family page using the link on the QR code. For more information, please see myself or Sister Christian G. Food Bank is in need of drivers. Please see Minister Afia for sign up.
Will be offered in the fellowship hall after service for those in need. GAD is opening up for mentors and mentees from January 4th to the 25th. For more information, please see Deaconess Tiffany or Deaconess Gabby. Pastoral Love Offering is January 8th. Women's Ministry is January 9th. The theme is Daniel Fast Comfort Food. January 9th to January 15th is our Daniel Fast. It is voluntary. If you have any questions, please see Deaconess Fiona. Singles Ministry is canceled this month. Youth Sunday theme, which is the fourth Sunday, is Rep Your Sports Team. AFC Singles Retreat will be held March 8th through the 12th. Due to limited seating, it is requested that you register online. A non-refundable deposit of $150 is due by January 15th. If you have any questions, please see Deacon Harold or Minister Leisha. AFC Youth Retreat will be held the 12th through the 15th for ages 11 through 19. Online registration is due by February 1st. The first deposit is February 3rd, and the remaining must be paid by March 3rd. The total cost is $110 per child. Taste of Favor is open in the fellowship hall for all your shopping needs. Remember to keep it in the kingdom. And that concludes our announcements.
Okay, I do have a question. With the tutoring, are we accepting help or assistance with tutoring from the outside or just inside? From the outside as well? Okay, all right. Also, with the drivers, remember, you don't have to be a member of AFC to volunteer to drive for the food bank. So if you have a Tuesday, just one Tuesday or one Thursday that you're able to give us from 9 in the morning to about 11, we greatly appreciate it to do the food bank run for us. Just listen, if you could do it once a month, on a Tuesday or Thursday once a month, we appreciate that, because if we have volunteers to do once a month, we'd be good to go. You know what I'm saying? So it won't be hard on anybody. All right, so we need everybody to start giving that one day every month or every 2 months. I said if everybody in the church volunteer every quarter, just one time every quarter, we would have the whole year covered. So if we could, make sure Fiona, Minister Fiona, wave your hand, see her. Dog, you know what I'm talking about. You know your name, Minister Phil. Looking right at her and calling her Fiona's name. Ain't that something? Yeah, she over there like, wait, that ain't me. Why she calling me and looking over there? But yeah, see, Minister, I feel, you know what I'm saying? Just one. Just give us one Tuesday morning or Thursday morning. Just give us one, all right? So that we don't struggle and it doesn't become a burden on others. We have a class tomorrow. All those who are taking the food bank class, we have a class tomorrow at 11, Zoom class, so that we can start getting ourselves back up in the warehouse. All right? Yeah. We can add people at the next one. Yeah. I think they teach it like every other month.